Good morning, everybody. In this video I'm going to show you how to make oven mitts. So what you'll need is 4 layers of heat-proof fabric for the inside lining, 4 layers of your outside pattern. So I chose a nice fall pattern. This one's really cute. And also the inside lining, so I chose a dark green because I find it goes very well with the fall colors. So 4 layers of the green, 4 layers of your outside print for your mittens, and your heat resistant fabric for the inside, of course. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your one piece of your outside fabric. I just got to cut one little piece here that's attached. Okay. So you're going to take your outside piece you're going to align it with one of your heat-proof lining fabrics. Okay, so the heat-resistant side has to be facing the outside of the mitten like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to your sewing machine and sew all around the mitten. And make sure when you go to the inside of the thumb, right, then you make it round. Don't sew it like a V, don't sew it like a square. It has to be round. And so, because once your mitten is done, you have to have room to move around, okay? So, go around, start here, go around the thumb, all around the mitten, and do the bottom as well. And then come back. Okay, so that was the first mitten. You had to go and sew the heat-resistant lining to the outside layer of the fabric. So you're going to do that for both sides of the mitten. Okay, so you're going to take this here. So this is the opposite side of your mitten, okay? So you're going to take the same thing as the first mitten. You're going to take that piece with your heat-resistant piece here. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing. Sew all around the mitten, make it round around the thumb. Go around the bottom, and then come back. So when you come back, you'll have your 2 opposite pieces, and then we'll be able to put the one mitten together. The first thing you're going to do, because now you have both layers, and you had to sew it around the heat-resistant side, so you have both sides of your mitten. You're going to put the opposite sides together, and you're going to sew all around the mitten. So same thing as you did in the first step, you're going to go all around the sides, make sure it's round around the inside of the thumb and the first finger. Go all the way around your mitten and leave the bottom open, okay? And then that's one thing you're going to do. And the second thing you're going to do is you're going to take the inside lining, okay, whatever color you chose. So this is my inside lining for my mittens. So you're going to take both of these, sew them together, same thing, except for the lining, you're going to leave a 3-inch gap open, okay? So make sure you don't forget that and leave the bottom open as well, okay? So go all around your mitten, leave a 3-inch gap open that's open, okay? And then you sew the rest, and then come back. Okay, so for this step, now what we had to do is sew the lining and leave a 3-inch gap open. I left mine on this side of the mitten, which is fine. And the outside layer of your mittens, both put together, opposite sides, and same thing, you had to sew all around the mitten. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the outside layer of the mittens, the mitten itself, let's say, okay? I'm going to take the mitten itself and we're going to flip it right side out. Make sure you get the thumb. And you're going to follow all the same steps, of course, for the other mitten here that we still have to get done. So you'll just have to do the same thing. Okay, so now we have our mitten. Just gotta fix the thumb a little bit here. Isn't this a cute print for fall? Wow. That's so cute. Little pumpkins and the truck and the leaves and everything. I love the colors of it. It's really cute. Okay. Almost done. Okay. Just takes a minute longer to get the thumb here. Okay. So fix the corners of your mittens and everything. Make sure that it's looking the way it's supposed to. Okay. So there's our mitten. Okay. So next step, you're going to take the inside lining and you're going to put your mitten inside the lining. Line it up. Make sure the bottoms line up, because the next thing you're going to do is you're going to sew all along the bottom, okay, like this. So you can see the right side of your mitten and the linings on the outside here. And then you're going to go all around the edge and then come back. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put the mitten inside the lining, and then you're going to sew all around the edge of the mitten like that, and then come back. Okay, so now we're back. So we had to sew all around the edge of the mitten. Okay, and now we're going to take the outside layer of the mitten and we're going to take it out of the 3-inch gap from the lining. So pull it right out from your lining. Now you see why we had a gap, right? Okay. Okay, and now you're going to fix your lining here. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew the gap closed. Okay, so you'll turn your fabric on the inside like that, and then just sew. Go back to your sewing machine, sew it closed, and come back. And then we'll actually have to put the lining inside the mitten for the next step. Okay, so for the next step, now that we've sewn our 3-inch gap shut, we're going to put the lining inside the mitten. So, trying to get the thumb, that's a little tricky here. Okay, so once you're done putting the lining inside the mitten, we've finished our first oven mitt. And the next thing you're going to do is press your mitten and follow all the same steps to do the second mitten. Okay, so there's our first mitten done. You're going to put that one aside, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take one layer of the outside fabric with one layer of the heat-resistant inside lining, and you're going to sew all around the edge, round around the inside of the thumb, and go right till the end, and also do the bottom here. Okay, so you go all around the edge of the mitten, and then you do the same thing for the opposite side of the hand. So you take the opposite mitten here with the outside layer of your fabric, same thing, so all around each side of your mitten, and then come back and we'll put them together. Okay, so this is our second mitten. So what I did is same thing as the first one. I had to sew the lining and leave a 3-inch gap open on the lining, okay, and leave the bottom open as well. And of course, sew the outside layer of your mittens each side to the inside lining with the heat resistant side on facing out, okay. And so after that, you had to sew both mittens together, right sides together, go all around the mitten, and then now we're going to flip it right side out, flip your mitten right side out, and put the mitten inside the lining like we did for the first mitten. Okay, you just got to get the thumb. Almost have it here. Okay, so there's our mitten, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it inside the lining, just like we did for the first mitten, and then we're going to sew Okay, so now it's lined up. We're going to sew the bottom here, go all around. So again, you have the right side of your mitten facing out and the lining on the outside. Okay, so go all around the mitten and then come back, and then we'll take the mitten out of the lining. Okay, so for the next step, we're almost at the end of this project already. We had to sew all around the bottom of the mitten. Okay, and now we're going to take the mitten itself outside. We're going to take it out of the lining through the 3-inch gap that we left open in our lining here. And then we have to sew the 3-inch gap closed, of course, like we did the first time. Okay. Actually, I think I went... See, this happens sometimes. I went too close to the edge, so I'm going to have to reverse what I just did here. As long as you're... Okay, so we finished our second mitten. We closed the 3-inch gap, and now we're going to put the inside of the lining. We're going to put the lining inside the mitten, okay? And then you're going to press both mittens if you didn't already press the first one. This is a great fall project. It doesn't take very much time to make once you get used to it. You might want to make a few different patterns. Have one for at home or a couple, and maybe give some for Christmas gifts. Whatever you want. And here are our finished oven mitts. How cute are those? I hope you enjoyed this project. Please leave your questions and comments down below the video, and subscribe for more videos like these. And we have lots of other projects coming up.